Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment in the Quickview series. And I'll tell you this right now. We make a concerted effort not to preload the tire. We don't want expectations. Not possible in this case. I've been making pleas to the universe, yelling into the sky. And there it is. It has arrived. It is arrived. JConcepts 4112 Megalithic 2.2525 LP. LP Megalithics. I've been waiting. You've probably been waiting. Now we don't have to do any more waiting. Courtesy of a fantastic follower of the Canyon, one of the Canyoneros who was knee-deep in mud at Beat the Creek. And at the booth, they were selling these. And he sent me a message and said, would you like me to pick a set of these up? And I said, absolutely. But before he said, would you like me to pick a set of these up? He said, look what I've got. And I said, I hope it never stops raining. That's a true story. They come with the JConcepts medium foam. It's a medium foam. It's not any kind of weird foam like what came in the 2.2 landmines. It is a JConcepts foam. It fits the tire. The tire has been ventilated. 4 holes. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock positions. Every 9 degrees apart. 2.2 LP Megalithic. Honestly, if you were going to ask me before JConcepts had made any LPs, if you had said, what are they going to make? I would say, Tusk. What are they going to make second? Megalithic. Or Rupture. Tusk, Rupture, Megalithic. Those would be the top 3. We got this one like 5th or 6th. I don't understand it either. The Megalithic is a tire that seems to follow in the heritage, the lineage of the Tusk, in that it works at every size. There are some tires that those little differences in scale don't seem to, for whatever reasons, particularly translate. Megalithic is not one of those. The 419s are great. The 475s are great. It's the only sizes I've tested. So, my anticipations of the Megalithic. The Megalithic is rapidly climbing the charts here in terms of when we began these shenanigans and nonsense, and I will chime in here for a moment to say, at least on this set of wheels, which are just Ally Express generic, what are they, 8-hole, 10-hole? 10-hole 2.2s, no bubble juice required, all 4 of them mounted with 0 drama. They just slapped around, then he makes sure that it's not popped out on the front. All 4 mounted with 0 drama, absolutely no issues. And as per usual, JConcepts foam is a fantastic match for JConcepts tires. I'm going to say, by looking at that, that is 47, 48 millimeters wide. These are going to be the width of a conventional 1.9, but you've got that height. The test vehicle upon which we test them is indeed Capra axles, portals. 525s and portals is probably more ground clearance than anyone needs. It is legitimately 134.5, which is 5 1/4 inches and a hair. So, truth in advertising there. They do not, however, there are no markings on the sidewalls giving any sort of information. And 48 millimeters wide. So it is the same width as like a 1.9 Tusk. Let's see 2.2 Tusk LP by comparison. A little more squarey at the edge. Got a little bit of roundedness there. So, any attempt and or effort to be like, well, don't get your hopes so high there, champ. No, that's not a thing that's going to happen today. These are 2.2 LP Megalithics. If there has been a tire that I've been asking the universe for, perhaps more than any other, it is this one. Oh, to answer a question that's been posed to me in the past, do you believe that ruptures and megalithics and goats, hieroglyphic tires, do you believe any of the hieroglyphic tires to be directional? The answer to that is not really, okay? In the center of a meg, you've got this little triangle point, and then these hook arms kind of go forward. See how those hooks will go forward? But if you flip it around the other way, like these hook arms kind of go forward, and then this kind of goes forward, I just cosmetically prefer to run them with that little triangle pointing forward. So like that. I don't believe it makes a difference, and here's why I don't believe it makes a difference. If you think for even a moment that I haven't accidentally put that tire over there and that tire over there, I absolutely have. And there is no feel of difference. Like, you don't get any lug chatter, you don't get any differences in feel when you run it. They feel exactly the same. So I do not believe that they are directional in any way. Just run them the way that you feel works. There's been a couple tires, one just popped into my head. Duratrax Scalar. Duratrax Scalar, which are now effectively gone. I don't recall if there's a Louise version. Regardless, their main tread is non-directional. It's just an omnidirectional tread. But they have a directional side lug. And those tires do perform better. The side lug looks kind of like a Patriots logo. It does perform better one way relative to the other. And you can, like, it's noticeable immediately. If you just flip-flop them side to side, you go, oh. So that's what you do with tires. Take your wrench with you, or if you have Ugga-Duggas, take those with you. It takes 30 seconds to flip-flop your tires and find out what you like. With Tusks, I've noted that, again, with the little triangle, sometimes if you run the rears backwards, you get a little bit more accuracy and dig performance. But in terms of just overall forward drive, it's a nominal difference, if any. Every setup will be different unless you built something absolutely identical to what it's being tested on. Your behaviors, like, will this foam suit this vehicle? Probably. 3 kilos, so we're right in there in that between 6.5 and 7 pound range. And I've found that overall, most foams, single stage, whatever tends to come with a tire, is pretty comfortable in that, say, 6 to 7 pounds. If you get too light, they act real stiff. If you get too heavy, they act real smeary on the rocks. But we should be right in the butter zone. Outside, the temperature is rapidly exceeding the butter zone. It is early in the morning. The sun is barely up, and it is already in the 70s. We're having a little burst of the summer today. So I still think JConcepts doesn't start falling off until the rocks get hot. So 2.2 LP Megalithic hopes are through the rafters. Let us find out how they do. It's happening. It's actually happening. There are things that you want to see. I want to see this. I want to see this do exactly what I think it's going to do. Oh my goodness. It just... Not an instant of hesitation. Absolutely no push from the front end. None. I mean, zero. The rupture is kind of the, if we were still on it, if it was pertinent, the gold standard of the omnidirectional tire that you can still buy. It harkens back to White Rovers, Sedonas, Chisels, Rock Claws, the hieroglyphic tires, Panther Cougars. The Megalithic, though, and further, we're having a, oh God, we are having a foam to tire cooperation that does not typically occur. This is, and it comes down to design. First, you've got to get the compound right. Then you have to get the relationship between the thickness of the carcass and the orientation of the lugs relative to the compound. JConcepts has been doing this for a while. The tusk is my bar. A tire has got to do stuff to beat out a tusk. Now, the tusk is not the perfect four-wheel steer tire. I'll throw that out there. No tire is the best at everything. But if there is a tire that challenges that convention, it may indeed be this one. And we have noted in the past, size matters. A tire that scores one score, say it scores a 97 even in its Class 2 475 configuration, it is probably going to do better at 419 if it's got a thin sidewall because there's less sidewall to fold. 525 might be something approaching perfection. The Class 3 size, because still doesn't have a massive sidewall. It has about the same amount of sidewall that a 1.9 does at 475. So you're not really giving anything, but you're getting things. I am going to give 1/10 reduction, which is the highest score available at Slick Rock. 9.9. As such, I will be generally and genuinely surprised if we witness an approach to an obstacle section that deviates more than 0.2 of a point. I don't forecast seeing anything below a 9.7. Good grief. This is a tire that will outdrive your geometry. It's going to provide an amount of forward drive and then an amount of responsiveness. Like, I am almost never steering all the way to lock. It will turn too tight. Expectations were high. Expectations were high for a reason. I have not witnessed at any point even a micro hesitation lasting a fraction of an instant. That is a terrible entry line approach. It does not matter. When these are readily and commonly available, if you want them, treat them with what I call Costco rules. Costco buys their items in mass, huge mass. Costco can sell things inexpensively because they buy them not by the container, but by the ship that the containers are carried on. They say, how many of these do you want? And Costco says, well, we're going to need 8,000 of them per store. So what they do is they buy 8,000 of them per store, and that's the entire production run. When they run out, you never see them again. Stuff will come into Costco and then be gone for a year. My wife loves these tiny little baby quiches. You can't find them. They become available like 6 weeks a year. It's like the McRib. So that is how you're going to have to treat 2.2 megalithics. The 2.2 LP megalithic, in my estimation, this not having come to fruition yet, in my estimation, this will be the Costco baby quiche, where you better get it when you can, because otherwise you're never going to see them. When I see these available on the storefront, I will click them so fast, I potentially risk damaging my computer's mouse. In the event, which I think is probably not happening, that I am failing to wax hyperbolic enough, that was a 1/10 at, look at that. How did I get there? That is a 1/10 at staircase. Now, mind you, take into account, if you're not familiar, 9.9 is as high as we go. There's no such thing as a 10. Now, I have granted a tire in the past a 99 plus. What is that right there? Remember when I said these will overwhelm your geo? I have so much traction. Like, I'm watching that front tire. It's not collapsing. Oh, I need to look at my shock. Passenger rear shock has a tendency to unscrew itself. When we come through, it will hold you. It will hold you so long. Now, I do think that on the stock foam, you have the potentially to overwhelm them. We might actually be a little heavy for the stock foam. Like, well, how I transfer weight might be a little heavy for them. So, in the spirit of ultimate fairness, I will deduct 2/10 on the side hill, because they do have that thing. They have a rounded shoulder. You can get, well, you'll see when we swing through the gate over at Oblivion. Look right there. That passenger front is just loaded, and it's absolutely fine. I mean, the accuracy. There's accuracy and there's precision. These are accurate and precise. Maybe I'm coming in too high for these. Like, I'm watching that front. There it goes. There it goes. You can outdrive your geometry. In terms of a currently available non-ban list era tire, it's outdriving ruptures. It's outdriving even LP ruptures. The precision, the responsiveness, it is a short list. That right there, you see that little kicked out, there's a little kicked out spot of dirt right there that tire is sitting in. There is a very short list of tires that will just pull out through that. I say that the mark of a rock crawling tire is how low of throttle input can you apply and still produce forward movement. This is a glacier going uphill. These are surgical with a propensity for violence. You can throw them around, you can feed them throttle, you can go this speed right here. It's really something in its own category. In terms of a tire 48 millimeters wide, if we were viewing that as a classification, come on, I don't want to get up. Oh, did you hear? I might have heard it. I think it was just a beadlock screw falling out. I've already got it in my pocket. Nope. You see it, right? Three-wheel drive. Not just three-wheel drive. That one's not moving. What do you think we grenaded? I should have gotten up, huh? All right, the quick pit fix. I should have everything to repair what I might have destroyed. We've still got perfectly good motion out of the driver rear. All right, I'll find out what I did. I'll let you know in a minute. It was about a 5-minute fix, honestly. So here is the rear drive shaft. You can see what's missing right there, right? That was what stopped us from moving, because the tooth broke into two pieces and it just fell down in between the other gears. But here's how the other side could still work as well as it did, because this little part should go right there and should be attached to the end of that. So honestly, let's put it like it is. That's pretty impressive. To break both ends of it is, to me, fairly impressive. We definitely had all the parts to get them back together. They'll get you into trouble. These will get you into trouble. Lug noise is virtually non-existent. We had a little push wide there, tiny little bit of slip there. Here's what it comes down to. More than anything else, it's this, that's gonna bump, there you go. It's this level of precision, like the amount of steering input or steering response. The amount of steering response is kind of next level. I'll do the same thing here. It's overwhelming the geometry. So I'm stuck. Do I give it a 10th reduction because it pulls like a train? Or do I give it a 2/10 reduction because it pulls so hard, you will bind a tire up and break your vehicle? I don't think I've ever seen another tire successfully do that. I'm starting to get this feeling that my relatively newly adopted reverse scoring method isn't as effective on tires that don't lose any points, that don't pull deductions. Pumpkin. It's incredible, honestly. We have an amount of total available grip on every tire, and a tire is going to distribute that across side load, forward drive, all of the things. For a tire with forward drive this high, you would expect like over push. Like you're not going to get the super sharpest steering response because the tire is too biased to going forward, forward always. We've seen many a tire that lives by the credo of forward always. These are not that. It's another 10th. And remember, a 10th basically means no deduction. So while I contend that CV joint grease is best grease, not best grease for stuff you have to work on. It'll get that molly on you. Left side, hook right here, right side. Center cut. It is performance evocative of the old-timey band tires. It's Chisel, Cougar, any amount. I mean, how slow can we possibly go? So when it comes to bump, like I bet with the open cell we can probably get a little bit of donkey out of it. Can we get? Not. Yeah, a little bit. The thing is, if we're scoring a bump, let me look at the numbers. I want to see the actual number. About 40%. Go to about 40% throttle. Get that little stop right there. Throw some attitude in it. As soon as you get any mechanical clear, it goes. 10th. It's just, he is him. I just want to crush through gate 5 and get to Tumbledore. The wet test is just going to be, we're going to do it because it's part of the protocol. We're overwhelming the geometry again. Get a little further back. Right there. You'll notice out there, driver front, nothing. No slip, no uncertainty, no nothing. So tight. Look at the wrap. I had to counter steer. Much lower entry than anyone would take. Got our hips kind of bound in right there. Swing it back. Hook that. Cut right there. Keep it clear. The margin of error is almost as wide as your wheel track. It's a stupendous amount of control. It's not just about the drive. Maximum forward drive is going to come from a single self foam. It's the amount of control. Come on. No one else can do this. Nah, bellied in. They are genuinely remarkable. Like, I feel like I know already what's going to happen. I have experience with megalithics. We're up to 4 or 5 sets of the 1.9 class 2s. Blissfully, they're becoming more readily available. You can order them. This is going to be another one of those that's really scarce. It's more drive and control. I have long said that the biggest weakness of the JConcepts Rupture, aside from the fact that it's like 5 inches tall in a 1.9, and usually people are looking for like a 4.75, it's in this weird nether zone between class 2 and kind of class 3, because in class 3 you're kind of looking for a 5.25. It's its rounded shoulder. It kind of falls off. It has a weak shoulder. So you can manipulate that with insert. You can change your insert around and kind of reshape the size of the tire. I'm into the spider webs. Come on. Come on, get through. Get through the slip. Okay, having a little bit of side lug. Will that fight us the other way? Yes. Tumbledore. I feel like the tires are out driving the vehicle. Okay, let me try a little right here. I want to see. Because yeah, we're just getting weight transfer. This is not. That's stick in the landing, right? Nope. Usually those tumbles, I break a rod end. I would like not to break him twice in one tire test, though would set a new standard. I'm trying to go even higher and further left. If your Geo will hold it, ooh, nope. These will take you there. And in terms of performance on an included insert, these are top 3 easily. Come on, come on, come on. And if you're a person that particularly enjoys huge amounts of underdrive overdrive split, These are going to be right in your wheelhouse. Only run around 18% here. Blind side. I can't see. That's why it's the blind side. Nope. We got to the point where the tire is just overwhelming the rig on this obstacle. I'm not deducting. I'm not deducting. He didn't look great. He fell a lot. And it was because I'm overdriving. This is a tire that might actually lean into more underdrive, overdrive. And we run 20 to 25 on everything here. Maybe not everything forever. And because I both neglected to look and mention it earlier, 75, which is about 2460. 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius, 60% relative humidity. And it is around 7 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna be one of those days. These tires have not suffered one iota from the conditions. The conditions for green, there's a broad range of perfect conditions for green. Doesn't really matter. It's going to look exactly like it did before. If not, slightly less. There was a little tiny micro hesitation from Dusty Rock. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. It is everything I hoped it would be. So based on my decision over the course to give these an additional 1/10 deduction, I am willing... Okay. They're sitting at 98.9, which puts them directly between the Panther Cougar and the Proline Chisel. Honestly, they're that good. They really are. But there's a part of me that can't. I'm gonna see the light. We're gonna take a 1/10 off at Tumbledore, and we're gonna finish them at 98.8, which ties them for second place. Which ties them for third place with the 2.2 Proline Chisel. Tied for third. First place, Hot Body Sedonas, 2.2 Sedonas, followed by the Panther Cougar, then a two-way tie at third with the Proline Chisel and the 2.2 LP Megalithic, which is absolutely, unquestionably rarefied air. We have tested, scrolling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 100 and right around 160 tires, and this is tied for third with tires that are borderline legendary. I would classify them. The 2.2 LP Megalithic is going to be unobtainium as fast as you can conceivably imagine. I don't know if JConcepts, I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's incidental, but if it's the thing you want, by golly, is it hard to get. I still can't get a second set of 2.2 LP ruptures, which scored I gotta scroll all the way back up, scored a 98.5. These are just that much more responsive. They don't have that little roundy shoulder problem that the rupture has. I don't see, there's no immediate weakness to these. This is the highest scoring of the megalithic family between the 419, the 475, and the 525 LP. It is him. aside from the fact that I can never remember if it's Giger or Geiger. H.R. Giger, he was an artist that did the artwork for the Alien movies back in the day. He specialized in this kind of alien style, which is why he was selected for that. That is what the tread pattern always reminds me of. It's an H.R. style. And if you want something that looks scale, this is not it. If you want to make no compromise for performance, this is it. What can I say? If you have a vehicle that fits and or runs 525s and you want to get the LPs, you want to get the maximum amount of performance out of it, they're sitting right there. They just are. So, there it is. Take it as you will. Tied for third, near legendary status. That thus ends this Quickview installment. Thank you so much for joining us here in the Canyon, everybody. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I look forward to seeing you in the comments below, and in between now and then, please one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the Canyon real soon. Over back in the workshop, baseline is like, what? Why? Because this guy here definitely gets a finer selection of tires to run. Excellent driving out of frame, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.